Hello there. Right now we're going to be talking about this knife. This is the SOG Twitch II. And I got this knife online. Bought it off the forums, and I got a pretty good price on it. I bought it with another knife, so it was a pretty good 2-for-1 deal. I'm just going to be talking about some impressions I had on the knife. When you pick it up, the first thing you notice is how light it is. This thing is insanely light, and that's a really good thing. I mean, you can see they're not skimping on construction. You can see the outside scales, these gray scales right here. These scales are actually aluminum, okay, so that's still pretty strong handle material. And you can see it does have these full stainless steel liners right there. So they're not skimping on construction, yet they give you a really light weight, which I think is a really good accomplishment, really. And that weight is 2.6 ounces, so I mean, you're not going to be noticing this. You know, me, I usually don't have any problem with the weight or really size. I don't have any problem EDCing this really big, thick reptilian. But, you know, if you are the weight, sorry about that, if you are the weight conscious, you know, knife carrier, you might want to consider this knife because it's just so light. This knife is actually pretty small. Give me a sec. Here is my Benchmade Mini Griptilian, which I'm carrying today, right next to it. And the Griptilian is already a very small knife. This thing is like 2.9 inch blade, but the specs on the SOG Twitch II say that it's a 2.7 inch blade, so it's even shorter. And you know, it looks, yeah, I can see that it's about 0.2 inches or so. And you can see that the blade is very thin in, you know, this wise in profile, but so it's a pretty short, very small blade. This knife is assisted. It uses SOG assisted technology SOG assisted technology. And it comes out nice and fast. One thing you have to make sure is that you actually pull back as if it was a real flipper knife, okay? Because if you don't, I'll try to see if I can demonstrate this. And if you press it very lightly, it won't lock up. That wasn't a good one. No. Anyway, I can't show you, but I think you can look in my unboxing vid where I unbox this and use it for the first time. It doesn't fully deploy. It comes up basically all the way to this point here, and it comes all the way up here, and it fails to lock up basically, and then I had to click it in place like that. Just if you're deploying it, just do it as you would any other flipper knife with some authority, and it comes out really fast. The assisted technology, I'd heard that SOGs have a lower reputation for their quality, but you know, this knife has changed that. It's just really solid value, and it's actually really well made. The blade is that 2.7 inches of full flat ground Aus 8. And you can see the blade with my nasty fingerprints on it. Nope, you can't really see too well, but you can see the Twitch II right there. But it's a really nice satin finish. I mean, it's really beautiful. My lighting's so bad. I'll fix that for the next video, but the satin finish is really nicely done, and the blade is actually a really purposeful shape. Despite this knife being really small, I would have no problem carrying this as a main EDC. For some reason, that blade seems to be bigger than it actually is. Handle is relatively ergonomic. It's kind of squarish and blockish, but I mean, it fits, and I'm not going to complain about that. The texture of this is actually really pretty smooth, but there's a little bit of you know, matte finish to the aluminum scales to give you a little grip. This knife is a lockback, which you don't usually see on flipper knives. And you see they've allowed space for that flipper by cutting a hole in the back lock bar. See? That's what this sort of gap right here is. It allows you to have that flipper going and moving. Normal lockbacks would have this completely covered up. I don't have a lockback right here to show you right now, but yeah, this one kind of makes it so there's a hole for the flipper. And it locks up pretty solid. I mean, there is play, left and right and up and down, but it's very slight. And you know, honestly, I've never been a stickler for lockup. You know, I'm okay with not so secure. I mean, by that I mean like not like a weak lockup, but I mean like, you know, if I get a little bit of play, it doesn't bother me at all. One thing that kind of is strange is the fact that that lock bar is sticking out of the knife. Once it's in the open position, let me try to get this better. The lock bar is actually sticking out of the handle here. This is the end of the lock bar right here. And for some reason, let me get a pointer. For some reason, right there. And for some reason it sticks out of the knife. And I don't think that affects anything like physically or, you know, the lockup, but you know, that's just something. There's a few quality control quirks with this, but at like a $30 knife, $30 price point, this is great. You can see that the liners don't, well, I'll just tell you, but the liners aren't flush with each other. This is jutting out a little bit, and there's even a little gap. You can barely see it, but there's a little gap between the liner. Doesn't really bother me. The clip is pretty unique shape. You don't really see this kind of clip. This is probably a more standard clip you would see. This one has that kind of hole in it. I don't know why, but it carries fine, and the tension is, you know, pretty strong actually. Yeah, definitely pretty strong on this one. But the matte finish on the aluminum makes it so that it's easy to slip into your pocket. Anyway, that's about it. The SOG Twitch II is a really nice knife for carrying. I think it makes a great backup blade. Even though I could carry this as a main folder, if you're carrying, you know, maybe a big folder like a military or something like that, and you wanted to carry a little backup knife that was a little less scary, I would take the SOG Twitch II. I think it's pretty sheeple friendly, and I don't think you'd have to worry about it. One interesting thing is that this plate actually looks like it has a recurve. It's supposed to be sort of a drop point or something like that, but it's not really. If I come close, I don't know if you can see that, but it feels like there's a recurve. My camera's not very good. But anyway, that's my review of the SOG Twitch II. I would recommend it to anybody who's looking for a more affordable knife. I'm not really a fan of assisted knives, but this one's actually not too bad. I mean, I think it's a solid value, and it's not going to be definitely the best you can get, $30 bucks. But if you like the styling of this knife and you like how it looks, I would not, you know, hesitate to buy one of these. It's worth the money. I'll be putting up some more videos in the near future. I'll be reviewing some more knives. I think I'll have a Spyderco military knife review coming out within the next week, within the next few days, whenever I have time. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys. Bye.